welcome to my show as the host MC Flower. It's called Letz. We've got a new celebrity. He works in the police. I'm going to ask him some questions. But first of all, he'll first introduce himself and then we'll see what he'll do about, like, if he's the police, I'll ask him questions. It is let him first introduce himself.
Okay, my name is Hassan Kasinje. I'm Assistant Inspector General Police and Director of Interpol and International Police Relations in the Uganda Police Force.
Okay, he's in the Uganda Police Force. Now it's time for questions. Sir, like, in the next years or in the next months, what are you planning to do for those youths, like these people who came here, those young people? Yeah. What are you planning to do for them in future, like, as the police? Are you going to do, like, avoid child labor, child sacrifice?
Okay, I know we have a huge problem, like in the streets of Kampala. We have young people that have been brought from, like, Karamoja. They are being used by their mothers, by their parents to beg. What the police have done is to work hand in hand with other stakeholders. For example, Kampala City Council Authority, the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, in order to be able to engage them, get them off the streets, and we've been doing that, and then take them back. But the story doesn't end there, because even where we take them, we have been engaging and dialoguing with the communities where they come from and telling them that they don't need to bring children on the streets, because they end up by being hurt, they end up by being used, and they end up by, as you say, child labor. They don't go to schools, and in future there will be a problem to the whole society. So we are one out of many organizations that tend to solve this problem.
Okay, sir, I was going to ask you that, like, where are you planning to take them to? Orphanages, or like you take them back to where they came from?
Okay, putting them orphanages is not the best answer, because orphanages should be for those who don't have parents, who don't have relatives, who don't have people to look after them. But those who have their parents and the next of kin, our role is to reunite them with their next of kin. And that's what we tend to do, to take them back to their villages, to take them back to their societies, to reunite them with their society.
So, like, I have my friends there where I live, yeah. Like, they complain about, like, you, okay, pouring on them tear gas. Like, why do you do that? Like, some others be innocent passing via the road. So, like, maybe by mistake, the policeman thinks that that one did it. So, they just arrest that person when has done nothing. Like, you as the, okay, major person in police, what are you going to do about that?
I want to agree with you that using tear gas indiscriminately on society is not the right thing to do. When you're using tear gas, you must use it appropriately, you must use it effectively, you must not discriminate. You must discriminate those who are maybe violent against those who are not violent. And at the same time, it must be legal and necessary at that particular time. So, it may be non-lethal, but again, the use of it must not be beyond what is prescribed, because it can create another problem in society, like young people like you being involved in tear gas.
Yeah, it's really true, because right now at school, we were learning, and then like, they were riots. We never knew we were at school learning after lunchtime. That day was the happiest day of my life. At school they cooked nice food, they gave us sodas. But after lunch, immediately tear gas, all of the children collapsed on that. That's where we are going to class. From that day, I wanted to ask, like, someone important, like, near the police, so that you can try not to involve, like, when some people, like those rioters, are near a school, you just chase them and maybe fire up gunshots in the air, but not tear gas, because that tear gas may affect a child and the child dies.
I agree with you, and I can't argue on that one. that we must not use tear gas on innocent people like children. We need to respect one another. We need not to use violence in order to do our work. Because I've said, I think my message was, you use violence, you enlist violence. Violence begets violence. And even if it is the police or any other law enforcement agency, if they go to enforce the law and they use too much violence, the violence that is not appropriate, the violence that is illegal, the violence that is not necessary, people are going to be violent and it will bring even more violence. So I'm calling upon people, when they are going to do their work, let them work within the law. Let them use even if they are going to use force, is the force reasonable? Okay? Is it necessary? And is it legal? Because having a firearm and shooting at innocent people is not legal. Because this was not a war situation. They could have walked away. Yeah? If I go to do my work and I'm attacked, I can walk away. You know? So if we are going to talk about dialogue and we are going to talk about mutual respect, then we should avoid situations that are going to put us in situations that are going to bring violence.